things up for you?
That's probably the best way you could go out on your senior night. I couldn't think of anything better. Just staying in the game. I mean, we were down a lot at halftime, and I mean that just kind of shows our senior class and what type of guys they were.
What was said at halftime?
Coach Hill and actually Coach Griff had a pretty fiery speech at halftime. He came in and said some things I can't really repeat, but I think Coach Griff got everybody going, got the O-line going, and started up front, and then you just saw Straub had a lot of time back there to make some throws.
In the fourth quarter, what kind of momentum did the team give you after the touchdown you had?
Yeah, that was huge just to tie it up. We were going out there looking for a play, and Connor Wima called the play on the sideline, kind of said it would be open. We ran the same play twice, and it was open both times, and we got a touchdown out of it. That was big.
Can you tell us about the touchdown pass? You caught it at the 5-yard line, right ahead of their quarterback. How well did you see the ball?
Yeah, just dropped threw a really good ball and kind of threw it out there. So I mean, I kind of just tracked it down, and I didn't even know anybody was around me. I just went and caught the ball, and then I looked, and I just realized I was in the end zone. So it was a great feeling.
There's been a lot of times this season you guys have been down in the third and fourth quarters and you haven't been able to really come back. This game and being able to come back and get the win, what does that say about the way you guys have matured and developed this season?
Yeah, I think we kind of compare teams from last year, and we were 3-17 going into this game, and guys didn't give up. There was a ton of energy out there, and it was a great way to go out. I think this was the most fun week of practice we had as a 3-8 or 3-7, and I think we're 4-7. So I mean, you wouldn't know that we were 4-7 out there at practice. Just the guys always had energy at practice.
Billy, what do you hope some of the younger guys that are coming back next year take away from a win and ending a season like this?
Yeah, that was a great way to kind of go into the off season and just kind of momentum. I mean, we came out, started the game with momentum, and then we lost it, and then we had to pick it up in the second half, and hopefully that carries over to off season and next season. I mean, Straub came out and played hell of a 3 games, so I hope that carries over, and just young guys kind of see the way the seniors kind of laid the foundation. I hope that carries over for the program.
What does it mean to you wrap up your senior career in the W?
Yeah, that was probably the best way you could have ended it. He came in and said 2 receivers went over 100, and Izzy went for over 200. I mean, that's probably you couldn't write it up any better, so it was a great ending.
Did you need a little adjustment after they changed over from Strahan to Straub as far as the delivery, speed of the ball or stuff? Are they equally easy to catch?
It's just kind of different reads. Sometimes they'd look back. One guy would look backside, one guy. But it didn't take too long. I mean, we've been practicing. Going in this season, we had to kind of adjust with both quarterbacks because we didn't really know who the starter was. So, you just had to get some timing down on certain plays that they read different stuff. So, I mean, it wasn't too bad.
What did you see from Sam, Billy, when he had the fumbled handoff and just a couple tip passes, but he kept coming back tonight?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, he turned it over a few times, and obviously you don't want to do that, but the way he responded in the second half and kind of sparked our offense and really helped. It really led our offense in the second half. I think he did a great job in the second half, kind of thinking about the next play. Didn't let that affect him at all.
In your guys' defense, you made some big-time plays and at the end. What can you say about their effort, especially late in the game and in the second half?
Yeah, Jeremy Chin had a great interception. He tracked it like it was wide receiver, and then Ryan Neal caught a great interception too. I mean, those were just huge plays, and it was really, you saw both sides of the ball kind of finally coming together. I mean, so you'd see that before where offense would come out flat and defense came to play. I mean, they really stepped it up too in the second half.
Any more? All right, we'll get Israel up here.
You've gone through so much in your career, to end it like this, going over 200 yards, what does it mean to you just going through all the struggle?
It means everything. Not many guys get to get a 6-year back. Last year I had this feeling. It was my last game. Fortunately for me, I was able to get another year back. and go out like that, a win, great game. We got receivers out there making great plays. We got our defense just, coming back from 17 points. That's a game you want to win, and it was great. That's all I can say.
How does it feel that your career is over here now after a big win?
Well, it's been a long time coming. I have been here for 6 years. It's expected. I came in the game knowing it's my last game, of course. I haven't really got to that emotional point. I'm not sure if I will. Hopefully I won't. But all I can say is, I'm thankful for every opportunity that, I was given this season. And, yeah, that's it.
How did you get the momentum back to stay? You scored the last 20 points the last 7 minutes, and they had scored 28 points in a row to take that big lead.
Honestly, the sideline, the players, the energy, that's something we've struggled with for a long time, ever since I've been here, ever since I came as a freshman. And that energy and that momentum that we can get going. Once we get going, no one can beat us, you know what I'm saying? We're unstoppable. And, I hope that's something that will continue to happen as these years go by because, like you guys saw it, on that side, if you sat back and sat on the bench and looked at that sideline, it's a beautiful sight. And it was great.
How hard is that? When this is going to be the last game. And I guess what does that say about the rest of the team to have that much energy and being that involved? With the way the rest of the season is going.
That says a lot. Coming into the season, we all had our senior speeches and we all talked about it. And then, this is a different team. This is something that we've had, in the off season, and it's something that we haven't had the previous years. And everyone felt it. Everyone knew it was there. We thought we were going to have a better season, of course, with that energy, but unfortunately we didn't. But, we made plays. We're a good team. It was close games, and, the guys are only going to get better. They're not going to get any worse. They're only going to get better. And it's a great group of guys. We got our strength training, great strength training. We got everybody down in the rehab. It's just coaches, players, everything. Everything is just really clicking. And that's something that we've been struggling with these past years is to find, everything come together.
Is a win like this even sweeter because you guys essentially played the role of spoiler? They're knocked out of the playoffs now. Heading out of the playoffs.
I don't. Some people may feel that way. I don't. A win's a win. I don't care if we were playing another team that was 1-10, or had no chance. A win's a win, and anytime you can get that W, it's a great feeling.
What kind of lessons will this underclassmen take after this season?
Hopefully, they all see the resilience that we've had. Being able to bounce back, and like Sam. Sam had that fumble. Sam he had a few picks, but every time we came to the sideline, you didn't hear him talking about it once. It was reset button. On to the next play. I'm going to make another play. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of guys are. We've been up, we've been down, and everybody's just been able to bounce back, and that's significant. Resilience, that's a tough thing to have, and we have that.
With the way Sam played the last 2 weeks and a lot of the young guys that you guys do have, where do you kind of see the future?
Like I said, everything's clicking. That energy we have. The team chemistry, that's one thing I didn't mention. The chemistry is there. It's there. And like in high school, back when I was in high school, that feeling when, your team is really coming together as a group, and, no one can stop you. And that's something we have now. There might need to be a few changes, but, as a whole, this is a great group. This is the best group I've been around. Great freshman class. These guys that are going to be seniors coming up, they're good guys. Everybody's doing the right thing, coaches, and it's going to be a good couple of years coming up.
What will you miss the most about playing football here?
What will I miss? There's so many things I'll miss. Just the opportunity. I'm going to miss the opportunity. Football is a game of opportunities. And, you can go out there and, you can be great and you can be bad, and you have that choice. And I'm going to miss that choice. You know, going out to practice, knowing that, hey, I can have a good day, I can have a bad day, and it's on me to make that decision. And I think that's what I'm going to miss the most. Is just the opportunities. I miss the guys, of course. I miss the coaches. I miss Coach Akins. It's been a crazy little ride with him. You know, there's so many things you're going to miss, but I guess those would be the things I miss the most.
Given all the games and the close losses you guys have had over the last couple of years, how poetic is it to end it in this fashion, so to say, this season?
It's great. It's and it's significant because these younger guys see that. They saw that tonight. You know, everyone that's going to be here next year, they saw that. They saw what we're capable of. And just to end it that way, it's more than just tonight. You know, I mean, this is going to go for the next few years or however long, you know, 10 years. I don't know. You know, this thing, chemistry, you know, culture, everything's changing. And unfortunately, it didn't change fast enough, but it's changing. And that's all I ever wanted. You know, that's all the seniors ever wanted. That's all the coaches ever wanted. And it's happening. And it's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm just thankful. Yep.
We'll get Sam Straub up here for questions.
Sam, can you just talk about how you came back from just the turnovers and kept coming back tonight?
Yeah. I mean, those are obviously tough, but football is all about dealing with adversity and how you respond to things when they don't go the right way. And that's kind of been my mentality ever since I've started playing is, you know, you got to move on. And especially when you know that you've got a bunch of guys that believe no matter what happens, then it makes things a lot easier.
You know, how does it make you feel to, you know, send this group of seniors out the way you did?
Unbelievable. I mean, I have a lot of really, really close friends that are seniors, and I'm going to miss them a lot. And for guys that lead so well and set the bar so high for our young guys, it's going to be nice to see how they set the tone for us in the future.
Can you tell me about the touchdown pass to Izzy? It was kind of a lower pass, but threw it straight to him.
The second one. We're talking about the second one.
The 70-yard one.
Yeah. Well, he came out of his break, and the option was he could either go outside or inside, and I saw him inside, and I figured that there was a safety over top. And I got in trouble earlier in the game for floating the ball in the air, so just kind of had to put it on him.
What was going through your mind after coming back from that big deficit?
I mean, tough. You got to get your guys right on the sideline and make sure that, you know, no matter what happens, you got to believe and never stop playing until the last down. So, especially with everything like the turnovers and everything like that, it's big to, you know, keep the guys believing because all it takes is one momentum swing.
How important was the defense's role in that comeback in the fourth quarter?
Huge. I mean, if they don't get stops like that, we don't get the ball back and we don't get the opportunity to put the game away like we did.
You know, with a win like this to close the season, how do you guys use this as momentum for next year?
I mean, as I said earlier with the seniors setting the tone, it's almost like this is what we expect now going into next year. So there's no, you know, we expect to win every week, and that's by winning this game and even winning 2 weeks ago, it sets a tone in the offseason that we can win games and we will win games if we figure things out and at the end of games, you know, come together and play as a team.
What will you miss about Lane practice, playing with him?
I mean, 3 games, but he will put his body on the line for you as a quarterback. You know, I've never met a receiver like that who attacks the ball so viciously when it's in the air, and it's nice because seeing a guy like that put his body on the line for me, I mean, that's big. He makes the plays. I don't make any of those plays if he doesn't do what he does.
But you had to put the ball in a place where you could go get it, and you still threw for 450 yards today.
Yeah, I mean, granted to everybody else, I just do my job, and the offensive line protected well, and my receivers, I owe them everything. So it's not on me. It's mostly on them.
As you talked about the culture changing here, you just said it didn't change fast enough. You know, what do you think of that?
I mean, if you look at our offseason this last year, we definitely had more energy and more camaraderie. And Izzy talked about how the chemistry was a lot different than last year, and that's so true. And I mean, change doesn't happen overnight. So figuring out how to win these last few games is big, and I think that it's a big momentum shift going into the offseason for our culture to change this program.
Have you been able to feel it changing these last 3 games, week to week?
Yeah, not only through these last 3 games, but like I said earlier, through the offseason and the summer workouts and fall camp, and it's been fun. We were 3-7 before coming into this game, and we have fun at practice every day. Our guys are smiling. We're going hard. You never have to, get on anybody because they're not going hard. And I think that's a big tribute to us winning and the culture flipping.
Anything else? All right, we'll get Coach Hill in here. Start with a statement from Coach Hill, and then we'll take questions.
What a game, what a way to end the season. It's one thing to talk about, going out the right way, sending your seniors out, a momentum builder for your program, the last game, all that kind of stuff. It's easy to talk about. It's tougher to go out and do, and it's tough to believe whenever you're down 17 points, we've talked a lot about legacy and what these seniors' legacies are. We had talks at the beginning of the season in training camp, and what their legacy is going to be is a group of guys that bought into the culture of what we're trying to do here and came to work every single day. And then down the stretch, even down 17, their last game, when their last few seasons, it hasn't been turned around like that. They found a way to will it and flip the momentum back and get a huge win. I'm sure that we'll go back and watch, and there's a lot of big plays out there to talk about. I'm sure you guys will talk about them, but a great feeling of a group that stuck together, coaching staff that stuck together, believed in the plan, believed in the process. It's easy as a coaching staff. I'm 31 years old to not, hey, this isn't working. Let's do this or that, and we believe in what we're doing. It's well thought out and why we do it. We all got to get better and make changes and adjustments, and I think that we have throughout the season. We'll all learn from this season, but I'm proud of the way that we finished down the stretch here.
Coach Hill, after the win today, what kind of spark does that give you going into the future?
Well, it does a lot of things. Number one, you don't get an opportunity. I've never been in the locker room before. Come to think of it, that you get to win your last game. Unless you win a national championship, when I played, we're always in the playoffs. So your last locker room is a sad locker room, coming off a loss unless you win it all, and we haven't won it all in a while. So what you use is that's the last feeling that they've had. The next time that we go out in training camp, that's the last feeling. That's the last game we had. That's the momentum. That's the thing that they believe in and they remember, and so using the confidence, recruiting. We had a lot of Coach Griffin and the staff has done a great job recruiting. We had a lot of great recruits here, even week 11 when we're 3-7 here today, and we've got to use this momentum in recruiting and people believe in that. But then we got a lot of work to do too in the off season. I mean, we won 4 games. We got to remember that there's a reason why we lost some of those games. We got to get to work, and just because we were young and we'll get older with more experience next year, that doesn't just equal wins. You got to earn it, and you got to go back to work.
Nick, for you, what were the emotions going through your mind the last 5 minutes of the game?
Yeah, it was really whenever, Izzy's big play, but really when Mix broke the one, that was a special feeling. We haven't been able to do that. We've been able to go get the lead, but we haven't been able to put it away like that, and we did it in a fashion that probably they didn't think that we were going to be able to do, line up in 22 personnel and run it. And them knowing we're running it, we know we're going to run it, and we're able to go and pick up a couple first downs and then break off a big one. That was a special feeling. But the way that this season's going, you know, you got to coach all the way down to the clock says 0. So, but it was. I'm happy for our players. I'm happy for the other coaches to see their hard work pay off.
Was it fitting that two guys that probably been here the longest, with Billy and Izzy, had such huge days to lead you?
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked it any other way. Those guys deserve that, and you know that we've talked about that. They've, you know, those guys in their position group will remember the way that they competed. You know, it hasn't always been that way. But you remember when you're a player what the older guys look like, you know, down the stretch. Hey, we're out of the playoffs. Hey, it's a Tuesday practice. You know, like, hey, you got my reps. You know, I'll play in the game. But none of them were like that. They probably had their best practices down. What they're going to see is that when we practice well, we played well. And those guys have had their best practices all week, down the stretch, and that's why they're playing well. They got on a quick page with Sam, you know, because we were playing with a different quarterback. Then Sam comes in. They were able to get some rhythm together. But I'm happy for them. That's why I said this is their night. They got to enjoy it. All their families in town for senior day. And, you know, I want them and their families to enjoy a positive thing.
How important was the defense's role in the fourth quarter?
It was huge. 2 turnovers. Sealed it for us. Not only that, but got stops. You know, got us the ball back. You know, just continuing to – that's a good offense. You know, when you look at stats and we see them all the time, there's not many times they score under 35 points. I mean, a couple games, but you got a really good quarterback that plays at a high level. But one of the best receiving cores, I'd take ours, you know, but they've got, you know, the best receiver of all time. You know, we talked about, for us to win the game, you're not going to let Lenore have a big Lenore game. You know, he's going to catch 6 to 8 passes, and he's going to have 75 yards. But can we keep him to that? Can we not let him catch the big one or get loose or return a punt or the things that when they win games, that's what they've done. And I thought we did a good job containing them. Made some tough catches, but our defense was big. We got pressure on the quarterback a couple times when we needed to, sacked him. And then making him turn it over was big.
It almost kind of got forgotten with everything that happened after it, but in the first quarter, that fake field goal, was that just a case of, you know, let's go get this?
No, it's like I said, we're not a grab bag coaching staff. That's thought out. Sunday night, Coach Nunez stays up here till after midnight, and we'll give him. Then he'll come in and we'll meet as a staff on special teams on Monday. And we'll talk about looks that we got. You know, some weeks we don't have fake field goals in. They just don't, you know, show a look that'll, you know, it would be forcing it. They gave us a look that we thought going left or right, depending on what hash we were on, that we could get one on that fake that we dialed up. And then always, you know, you call it in and you're ready to call a timeout if they don't give you the look. They gave us the look and we rolled with it. So, but that was big for us because we had lost the momentum. We got the momentum with that. We went and scored. It's 14-0, I think, or 14-3, or 14-0, I think. And then we kind of lost the momentum there. And at halftime, we got on the guys, probably more so than we had all season as far as challenging them that we're not going to go out like this. You know, somebody's got to draw the line in the sand. We got to make plays. We gave them 2 touchdowns in the first half, the fumble. Then we threw an interception. And then we had a busted coverage down in the red zone when we let Lenore catch a touchdown where we didn't make them earn it. We were in the wrong coverage. It was an easy day one check. We messed it up. Little things like that, we weren't making them earn it. And that was what was disappointing in the last game. And then we came out and probably played one of our best halves.
Nick, do you feel like, is this the type of game, the type of win you guys needed as a program to turn the corner going forward?
Yeah, definitely. And we'll use it, but we still have a lot of work to do. You know, we've been right there, other than Northern Iowa beating us, you know, up there on the road by a few touchdowns or 20 points, where we weren't in it in the fourth quarter. Every other game has came down at some point in the fourth quarter. We got the ball with a chance to go win the game. You know, so the last, I think, 6 weeks, I don't know when we played Northern Iowa, week 4, I think. So other than that, every single game you're in the fourth quarter with the chance to win the game. Now we have to build on that. There's reasons why we haven't won those games, whether we've got to get better, players got to get stronger and faster. Experience will help in some cases. We know there's some holes to fill that we got to get better at. But we have all that on film now. We're a brand new coaching staff getting to know our team. We knew them in the off season, but never as the season goes. So keeping your coaching staff intact and them knowing their rooms. We have a lot of players coming back. We have to use this momentum, but we still have a lot of work to do too. It's just not going to happen overnight just because we win this game.
What did you see from Sam just coming back from those early turnovers?
I just saw a quarterback that went and won a game in the fourth quarter when asked, hey, you're going to have to go make some plays. He didn't. 3 turnovers. I don't know whose record he broke. It might have been mine. I don't know. But I know whenever I broke it or I set the record, it was at Northern Iowa, and I threw 3 picks, and we didn't win. And we had a chance to go win it at the end, and we didn't get it done. He threw 3 picks and set the school record, and we won. So he had a better night than me. And, you know, I said the first pick I thought was on me. It was a bad play call. And probably got too aggressive, called a double move. He went where he was supposed to go, and they didn't bite. And there's a guy there, and he made a good play on the ball. And I told him that when he came off, that one's not on him, that one's on me. And then we had 2 tip balls. He went where he was supposed to go with the ball on all three throws. If it was picks where he's making the wrong read or the ball's going somewhere that we haven't ever even talked about, you know, those are ones that you can't live with, or you got to get back in the film room. We'll go in the film room, and he went, you know, to the receiver that we would all throw it to if we had to pick. You know, as a coaching staff, balls got tipped up in the air and they made good plays.
Just like how quickly did he come back? Like I know.
Yeah, I think that it's been what we found. That's why, you know, for 3 games down the stretch, Missouri Valley's not easy to play with. He's always kept that attitude. There's never been when he came off, even that 3rd pick, you know, he's right back on the headsets, right back to Coach Van Dam. There's no panic in his voice or making excuses or this or that. It's okay, you know what I mean? I'm seeing this. Let's go back. Like, hey, we're going to make some plays. There was always a confidence in his voice, which you like to see, you know. And you have to. You talk about that, but it's not always easy to do. As a quarterback, you got to have a short memory, because you let that pick before the last series affect your next series, then it's going to start to steamroll. And he's been able to put him to bed and come back and keep playing.
Nick, how would you sum up your first season?
Learning experience for sure. I talked to Coach Fisher before the game, who I have a ton of respect for. I think that he's always done it the right way. I don't know him super well, but he's always shown me a ton of respect and always been helpful at our meetings and, you know, talking to him, and a guy that I'll always – and, you know, he talked – I don't know how many years he's coached, but a long time. Been a head coach before, coordinator at a lot of big places. And you're always learning, you know. But for sure, me, the first-year head coach, learning a lot, you know. And I think we've all learned that. It's been tough at times, you know, when you want it so bad that, you know, all these close games. But I think in the end it'll pay off. It's made our team better. It's made us better coaches. We've been put in a lot of situations that you don't get over a 5-6 year period, as far as clock management and end of the game situations and how to play the end of the half and all those type of things that you got to get better at as coaches, and we will. So it's definitely been one that you got to learn from. I think the coaches that make the big mistake is think that they have all the answers and they just stick with it. You always got to be able to adjust, and there'll be things that we adjust in schedules and all that kind of stuff to make things better. Always willing to listen and go and look forward to the off season and go and meet with some other staffs and see the way we can be even better.
Has there been anything that surprised you in your first year, or anything unexpected?
No, I don't think so. I think that I've said that before. I think it was on maybe my radio show on Monday. Connor asked me that, and the biggest thing as a head coach is, as an offensive coordinator, I think you got to publicly John Van Dam called a lot of the game tonight, and he's been right there with us, you know, as we call the game together. But I've learned as a head coach, you know, so much of my week is for the players, managing the players, schedules and travel. And when you're out there, I don't want to be a head coach that's just an offensive coordinator. I never feel like they get across to their whole team. You always have a divided team. I want the defense to know that I'm their head coach. I'm with them during, you know, individual drills. I'm down there with the defensive backs or whatever it is. And, you know, during scrimmages, you can't just be rooting for, you know, hoping we score 45 points as the offensive coordinator. And our offensive staff has done a great job of understanding what I want for the offense, and then doing you know, a couple of those shot plays John had dialed up there up top. I trust those guys. So I guess getting to your question, what I've learned is, that have been surprising is you go sometimes it's lonely going up there, going back to your office where you're used to having a quarterback room and we're coaching them up and those are your 4 guys. You still are. I mean, you're the head coach. You have 105 guys now, but it's not, you've got to oversee a lot more. So, but every position has their pros and cons, and I love what I'm doing. That's for sure.
Anything else for Coach Hill?
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Last one, Chase Allen. First guy to get a post-game interview after showing all that. Look pretty for the cameras. We need to final books. I got final books here. Questions for Chase Allen?
Chase, what was the defense's momentum between halves? Because the first half you gave up a lot of points, and the second half you only gave up 3. How were you change things up?
Just at halftime we made our adjustments, and we knew what they were going to try to come out and do. They were up, so we knew they were going to try to run the ball, so that kind of narrowed our play calling, and just guys never gave up. I feel like the second half we really dug deep and just brought that effort that we needed.
How's it feel to go out with a win?
Feels great. I'm so glad that it was done in that fashion too, just to fight back and win it, and just kind of win one of them games that we've always had that it seems it comes down to, and we end up losing throughout the season, but to end it on a game where we end up on top, it's just great.
How big was it when they had the ball inside around your 20 twice early midway fourth quarter, and you hold them to a field goal and a missed field goal? How vital was that?
That was huge. We told them when we went out, we were saying it's our job to keep them out of this end zone. That's as deep. We just have to take care of the ball after the turnovers and stuff. But we just have to come out as a defense and get a stop and hold them to a field goal, or like you said, the miss one.
What kind of lessons will the defense learn from the senior class?
I feel like we've been a class that, like I said, never give up. We've always played to the fourth quarter, or if we had a bad season, we're not giving up at the last games or kind of just letting teams roll over us. We've kind of been a class that always fought back, and I feel like that's what we're leaving as a senior class.
You had one team today fighting for a playoff spot and one team that wasn't, but you couldn't tell that.
Mm-hmm.
What did that say about your club?
I mean, you shouldn't be able to – we've always been taught that you shouldn't be able to tell the score of a game by film. So it's always, if you're losing, if you're winning, it should be the same. And that's what our motto's kind of been. And yeah, I mean, we knew we could compete with all these teams. We've lost by one score or whatever all season. So to finally be on top, it's good. We finally just found a way.
You're down 10 points with 7 minutes to play. Chase, how did you guys get the momentum to stay there at the end?
I mean, like I said, we just never give up. We've been in situations like this, so we kind of knew what to expect. We've been down before in the fourth and have to come back. So, yeah, we just made some plays and found a way.
How much does the momentum build after your offense scores, you get to 34-31, and it keeps on building? How much does that kind of give a surge to the defense?
I mean, we take it as we're in control of this game now, that we're a huge role in it. It's not just hopefully our offense scores if we have to get a stop for them to do that. So that's what we kind of talk about at the sideline before we go out.
Do you feel like this type of game and the fashion you guys want, is this something that the younger guys can use to kind of turn the corner for this program?
Yeah, we talked about that. The older guys, we had a team leader meeting, and we kind of said that we have to leave on a good note this season. Just it's young. We have a ton of young players, young coaching staff, everything. I think for us to win at home against a team like that's ranked and stuff, just going into next season, that's huge. It just builds the momentum, and it gives those guys experience of games like that in competition.
Anything else for Chase?
What you missed about playing here, Chase?
The family about it, the team feeling, just coming to work and seeing all these guys every day. It's it really hasn't hit me yet, but I know when I'm at home next week not doing anything, it's going to. So.
What does this win mean to you?
It was just huge. It was kind of personal, just because our D coordinator last year is their D coordinator now, and it's just the defense wanted to prove we're a good defense this week. So I don't know. It was personal for us, for defense to come out, because we were with Coach Ellison all the time. But yeah, I love Coach Ellison. I texted him earlier this week that I hope we have a 4-quarter game and stuff, a good game, and looking forward to seeing him. So yeah.
Did you talk to him after the game at all?
No, I couldn't find him. I was looking on the field.
I think he's up I don't know. I can't remember if he's in the box.
He was on the field. I saw him during the game. Yeah, I almost yelled some things to the sideline just to get his attention, because I haven't seen him in so long. But yeah, I looked for him after game. I didn't see him though. Yeah.
Anything else for Chase? All right, thanks, Chase.
All right. Thank you, guys.